Good morning and welcome back to Video Diary on the Farm. I thought I'd do something a bit different this week, especially for anybody new to the channel. I thought we'd just have a look around what's in our shed, just have a look at all the major bits of kit we have and just show you around a bit. Right, this is what we call the workshop, where we do all the repairs and where we park up most nights. We'll start off with this one, 724 Profi Plus, 240 horsepower, lovely little tractor, very good. It's on narrow wheels at the minute because it's pulling the sprayer, as you can see, which is a demand, 6,000 litres, and as you may be aware, this is going at the end of the season. We're changing it for a horse. The main reason for change is we're going to a 36 metre boom, where this is only 30, but we're keeping quad nozzles, which is a really good setup for doing different jobs on it and that. And yeah, with the 724 pulling it, 240 horsepower, it's a brilliant setup. It's the next best thing to a self-propelled with having the Vario gearbox. Yeah. Really pleased with these tractors. Good little tractor that is. Yeah. And what we've got next to it, yeah, we've got the last remaining John Deere on the farm, which is a 6155R, which has got the power quad gearbox on it. Just a very basic gearbox, but it does the job that we want it to. It pulls the trailer. Well, a lot of trailers, different trailers anyway, and any other general jobs what we want doing. And then, as you can see, one of the toppers here, we have a TMC canceller, offset flail. Well, it can hydraulically variable on the rams, and yeah, really good setup with this. It can mulch bits of wood up to about 6 mil in diameter, which doesn't sound a lot, I suppose, but yeah, it does make a good job though. It's heavy duty, and yeah, spot on. And we've got our backup sprayer here. It's a little mounted one that goes on the back, as you can see, of a John Deere Gator. Yeah, which we get a lot of use of. Yeah, what with the sprayer on the back. Oh, it's a 6 metre boom, by the way. So it's ideal for spraying off any little plots, any strips and that. And yeah, just slides in and out, very easily unplugs. Yeah, so we also have a slug pelleter, what goes on the back of the Gator. So when it's drilling season, or we've got any slug problems, we can soon, yeah, pop a few slug pellets on, real low ground pressure. And what else we got in here? Right, this is our fertiliser spreader. You can see, it's an Amazon. That's the model. It's a 4200 Profis Hydro. And yeah, very good spreader, all hydraulically driven. It's got section control on it, so less overlap and everything. It's yeah, really good spreader, top class. And then we come to George's tractor, which is Fendt 939, which is 400 horsepower. We use this for primary cultivations. Also, it pulls the drill and any other top work, because it's such a versatile machine. When it's unballasted, it's got Vario grip on it, which means the tyre pressures can be inflated or deflated to suit conditions. So when it's on top work, we remove the wheel weights, which are a ton a piece, and drop the pressures down to 0.6 of a bar, and she treads really lightly, and that's the same with the drill when we've got it on. Yeah, it's got a 1800 weight block on the front. So when it's fully ballasted, it weighs about 16 tonnes, just under 16 tonnes. But when you take all the ballast off, when it's in its bare state, it's only just over 10 tonnes. So, yeah, really versatile again. I keep saying this, but yeah, the Fendt are a good tractor. Pulls the plough as well. Then we've got our other 724, which we got last year. It's just a Power Plus, so it's not quite as specced up as mine, what I spray with. But basically it's the same. It's on slightly different tyres, where mine's on 710 wide tyres. It's on Trelleborg 650s. But they're both equipped with wheel weight carriers, and we have a set of wheel weights for them both. Well, no, one set of wheel weights, sorry, a 600 kilogram set, and that can either go on this tractor, 724, or the one I spray with. So so we can do some heavier cultivations work with them as well. Yeah, I forgot to mention the 724. Yeah, it's 240 horsepower, and the 6155 about 155 nominal, and then boost to about 195 when you're pulling a trailer. Then we have our last prime mover. It's the Challenger, which is a 765E, which is about 400 horsepower when its lugs are pulled back. It's on 30-inch tracks. Yeah, and it does a lot of the primary cultivations as well as the Fendt, and a lot of top work because it's very low ground pressure with its being a track machine. Yeah, it's getting on a bit now, but it's really cheap horsepower, this. So that's why we're running it, keep running it. And nothing pulls like those track machines. When you get into some real heavy ground, it doesn't half grip. Outgrips a wheel tractor anyway. Bit dark in this shed, I'm afraid. But yeah, so that's all the tractors. And this is our Heaver Stealth subsoiler, low disturbance subsoiler. Yeah, here we are. Here's the legs. Well, as I maybe said before, they've a single. Let me go around the other side. Be a bit brighter. You'll see better what I'm talking of. There we go. Yeah, you've got a disc in front, which is hydraulically variable, which can lower up and down to suit, just cut trash out the way. And these line up with the low disturbance subsoiler legs, which you can see they've only got a small share on them. Yeah, these are designed to operate maybe to a maximum of about 8 inches deep, not that deep. And we use it in connection with the seeder, multi-seeder, what's on the back. And we can put 2 lots of seed on in one go. The spout's coming down to the front here, in front of the packer roller. And then there's another outlet for seed at the back, so we can mix and match. We could put rape seed in and slug pellets at the same time, or 2 different bird cover crop mixes, or catch crops, cover crops. Yeah, very versatile. Also, when we're on rape, we have fertilizer, liquid fertilizer goes on in front of the rape being sown to get it started. So yeah. So we sold the main big subsoiler. We had a 7-leg Simba top down, and this replaced it because we thought it was more versatile and the soil's getting better conditions here, so we don't need to subsoil as deep. And yeah, we're finding it a very good tool. What else we got while we're in here? Yeah, Cousins rolls, a set of 12-metre Cousins heavy duty contour rolls, yeah, with breaker rings on them. crimps, they break up any clods and that. They get quite a bit of use sometimes at back end. Other times, not so much, like this last year. But in spring, they've had quite a bit of work this spring when conditions have allowed. And they're a real heavy set, which really firms things down. So, yeah, they make a good job of that. Just while we're in this corner of this dark shed. Yeah, that's the front fertiliser tank, what we fit onto the Challenger. It's just gets bolted on. I don't know whether you'll see it. Here's like a subframe at the top. No, you can't see it, but yeah. So I'll show you that when we get it out. Then we have a plough, carbon destroyer, a 6-furrow, Kavernland LB, not an LB, sorry, an LO 100 plough, which means it's got 100 point-to-point clearance, which is really good for incorporating trash. So it measures 100 centimetres from that point to that point. So there's a good distance for trash to flow through. It's vary width, and it'll open up, it'll go from 12 to about 22 inches on the ram. And yeah, we don't plough with it wide open on this land. We usually plough about 16-inch furrows, 17-inch furrows. Yeah, and it's got a 300 headstock on it, which means it'll take 300 horsepower. But we've been running it with more than that, and yeah, I haven't heard of them any problems. We haven't had any problems with the headstock anyway, running bigger tractors on them than what it's meant to be rated at. But a lot of people seem to get away with up to about 400 odd horsepower on the front using them headstocks with no problem. So it's just testament to how well the KV ploughs are built. Yeah, next to it we've got our Bomford edge trimmer, which was new 2 years ago, which is a Hawk Evo, 6 metres reach on it, with a variable geometry arm and a 1.5 metre flail head on it. So yeah, it makes a good job, and that gets a fair bit of use. We'll have a fair few hedges to cut in winter, so yeah, we'll do that. There's the wheel weights. These are the 600 kilogram ones for the 724s, and then we've got the bigger ones here for the 939, which weigh a ton apiece. So yeah, fair bit of weight in them. Down here in the lower part of the shed, we have a 6.6 metre culti press. Yeah, 6.6 metre culti press. Great Plains. Well, it's what was Simba's. Really good bit of kit, this. We work a lot of our land with this. Yeah, it does a real good job of levelling and firming it. We prefer this rather than a power harrow with its tines on, vibrating tines on the front with the big springs to knock any clods down or loosen it up. And we've got the paddles, levelling boards, which force clods in between the DD rings, as they call them. They're called DD rings, and it's got double DD rings on. So very good for chopping up clods and firming it, and they slice them. A lot of weight in this, really does a good job. One pass is often enough, all it needs to get a seed bed. So yeah, very good. And behind it, we have our main primary cultivation tool. Even though because we don't use the plough much, this is what we use. This is another Great Plains implement, and it's a Simba. Well, it's Simba, but it's Great Plains, and it's a Simba SLD 420. You can see that. So yeah. This is our main cultivation tool after harvest. When the combine's left the field, we go in with this. So it takes some pulling, a lot of weight in it. That's where the Challenger really comes into its own, pulling this. It's got its cutaway discs at the front. And then it's got subsoiling legs, well, semi-subsoil soil loosening legs. It'll go down to about 12 inches, but we're getting to the stage now where we can set it to maybe 8 inches, 9 inches maximum. Get away with being a bit shallower with the soil bit in good condition. Yeah, there's 7 legs on here. No, there ain't. 6, sorry. So, yeah, that'll loosens the soil. Then we come to the back. Another set of scallop discs to just chop any clods up and to incorporate any residue a bit more. And then a set of DD rings just to firm it back down and make it weatherproof, because it's surprising how weatherproof them DD rings make it. And if we had plenty of power, we could even more. There's a drawbar on the back and you could put a press on behind it, but we haven't a small press to go behind it really, and the culti press is a bit too big. But yeah, that's our main cultivation tool, this. Yeah, I just add, we do pull the plough. The Challenger will pull it, the 939 pulls it, and we pull it with the 724s if we need be. So yeah, we've got a few tractors options we can use with it. Obviously, on the heavier land and when it's wetter, we have to use the bigger tractors on it. Anyway, we'll just come round here to show you this quality disc. Here we are. We've got a Cavernland, a 6 metre quality disc as they call it. I got this new last year. It's very similar to a horse joker or any other double disc, well, call them short discs, I believe. So it's got 2 sets of scallop discs on the front for chopping and mixing. It's for very shallow work and incorporating trash, and you can use them for working seed beds down. People do, and then pack a roller on the back. I mean, they're all basically the same, but this one weighs, I can't remember what this one weighs, but a horse joker is probably heavier than this, a bit more steel in it, and other makes. It all depends what you want them for and how heavy your land is, but this suited our needs, so we decided to go and purchase one of these. So yeah, it's a good tool. We use this, we started using this last year after the combine, just to get a bit of a couple of inches deep, just to chip the surface to get a chit of blackgrass. That was the theory behind buying it, to get a good flush before we go in then with the SLD and work it deeper and hopefully kill the blackgrass, and then get another flush, and then we spray it off before drilling. Yeah, talking of drilling, as you might be aware, we have a 6 metre Vadestad, or we did, and we've just sold it, and we're just waiting for a new one to arrive. It's identical, it's a 6 metre Vadestad, and if you'd seen an earlier video, one of the early videos, you'll have seen it being ready to be built up in our dealer's yard. But yeah, that served as well. It does the bulk of the drilling, well, all of it if it's in a dry season, and also you'll have seen, which isn't here at the minute, might do, we've seen in another video, we've bought actually a combination drill as a backup drill. So if we get a wet season like last year, we can plough. We have options then. We can plough and drill, and the combi drill will actually go when the Vadestad won't. So yeah, we can keep drilling, but we wanted one for a long time, as I've said before. So yeah, it'll be all good. One of our cultivation bits of kit, it's Vadestad NZ. It's an old one which we got second hand. It's an 8 metre version, but yeah, it also does a very good job of loosening the ground ahead in spring if the land needs drying out. It's a Vadestad, it's the aggressive model, so it's got a set of levelling paddles here, then it's got all these spring tines which are very well spaced. They move all the soil. It's in the nettles here at the minute, doesn't look good, but then another set of levelling boards, paddles at the back, and then a following rake, which yeah, it does leave a good job. And yeah, Challenger pulls that, or the 939. It's too big for the 724s, it'd been 8 metre, but yeah. And then this was acquired this year, a drag, a 4 metre drag, with pigtail tines on it, hydraulic folding to make it better for transport. And yeah, that's just for drying ground out or filling furrows in at spring. Yeah, another good. I mean, as you maybe gather, we haven't actually a lot of kit. These are the main players. We haven't a lot of scrap kicking around anywhere. We haven't got old drags apart from these two, which we bought second hand. We run on the theory is we run on minimal kit to keep costs down, and then nothing's not used. So we don't have a lot of old machinery laying around what we don't use. Even trailer wise, we only run 2 tipper trailers, two 14 ton Western and a 16 ton Stewart, and then we hire another 18 ton Stewart in from GS Machinery once a year, which is the best way of doing it really, because trailers are expensive nowadays. So yeah, we're finding that's best just to hire one in for the harvest period, and then it goes back, and then because we have no need for them the rest of the year, just a bit of wood chip sometimes to move, odd loads of things, but with having no potatoes or sugar beet, yeah, it doesn't pay to buy a brand new one of them now. Well, I couldn't do a tour of the machinery without showing you this. Probably one of my most favourite bits of kit, this, to be honest. It's an 8 ton Kubota digger, which we've had 3 or 4 years now. It's got a hell of a lot of use. It's on steel tracks, so we can go in the woods with it on the estate. 600mm steel tracks with a variety of attachments for it, including a tree shear, TMK tree shear, which we can cut trees down up to 12-13 inches in diameter, and that was a good addition to it. The hydraulic thumb, which can grab things just like it's showing you. It's grabbing them buckets to hold them all on. Yeah, very versatile bit of kit. We didn't think we'd maybe get so much use out of it when we first got it, but yeah, now it puts in maybe 500 to 600 hours a year on the farm. So yeah, it's brilliant. We do a lot of jobs with that. Yeah, over here opposite the spray tank and store, we have the liquid fertiliser tanks. Currently we only have 2 in here in the bunding at the minute. Each holds about 50 cube of fertiliser, which is 2 Arctic lorry loads, if anyone's interested. And there is room, we've made it so there's room to fit a third one in between when the time comes. And then we've made some valves for connecting up to sucking it out of the tanks to make it easy. So yeah, well thought out. And yeah, we carried all this work, most of the work out ourselves on the farm, building that. Yeah, this is our lower yard, what got the new shed in. It's a good building, this. Only been up, is it 4 years now? But yeah, it's brilliant. And we've got the weigh bridge there, with the ticket office there, Andrew's office. And we've got the sprayer filling zone there, chemical store, and all the water tanks which are taking rainwater off the roof. And then we have a sump where if we have any overspills or chemical spillages, it goes into a separate tank, underground tank. Well, look in here, this is where the combine is. Then we've got some more rainwater storage tanks there. Each tank stores 30,000 litres. And we have, well, with 4 there, with 6 tanks. But it's surprising, we soon use them up in a dry season when we're putting a lot of water on. So, yeah, this is inside the corn store. Oh, the lights are on. Yeah, that's it. It holds approximately 4,000 tonnes of wheat. Well, as you can see, we've still some wheat in here. But yeah, not be full this year though, I'm afraid. But it's a really good store. It's just a normal floor at this side where we put the drying pedestals up in it when it wants conditioning, and then we have a proper drying floor at that side, which I'll look at in a minute. And yep, this is our forklift. It's a JCB, and it's a TM320 articulated one. Yeah, we find it a very good forklift. It can get in some really tight corners. It has a bit limited lift height on it because of the design, but at the minute, for our needs, it seems okay, and it's a good machine. It's just due for a new set of tyres this harvest, but they've been on since new, and I think it's 4,000 hours on the clock now, so yeah, it's done well. Good machine. Pick-up hitch on the back, tow trailer with it. But yeah, here we go. Got a Claas Lexion combine. It's in its third season this year, a 7700 narrow-bodied machine, which is equivalent, I believe, to probably a 770 in old money. It's fully automatic, CMOS automatic on it, and it's a hell of a machine. It really does do a really good job. Of course, it's got the tracks on it, just awaiting service at the minute. That's why the guards aren't on it. But yeah, if you've watched any of the early videos, you'll have seen it going. And yeah, hopefully it'll go well this year. And coupled to it is a 35-foot Conviflex bed, which really makes the combine, really makes it a hell of a thing. This is, for any of you who don't know, Conviflex bed means there's no auger in it. It's just these canvases what transfer all the crop to the middle to get a real good even feed. And then it will pick it up off the deck. When you put it in flex mode, all the knife, I can't really see under there, but the knife actually, it will waver about like this and follow the contours of the ground, which is really brilliant to see. And it's in barley, it's brilliant for picking the ears up. But you'll see at harvest how it works. But yeah, hell of a bit of kit that. If you can see, that augers for transporting the rape to the middle, any tall crops. Then you can see just below the auger there's all lights in the trough, which light up at night, and then you can see the flow of crop into your bed. Really well designed. Another bed, lights on the outer edge of the bed, lights at the back. Yeah, it's got the full Monty on. It certainly no expense spared with this bit of kit. Yeah, as with the combine. But yeah, soon be harvest, so you'll soon see it working. And that's about it, really. That's what I was meaning. Yeah, we've got wooden drive-on floors for drying here. Each side's about 1,000 tons, which you see there's some left in there. And at the very back, you can just see the top of it. We have grain stirrers in, and this can be swapped from one side to the other via a block and tackle. It doesn't take long to switch over, and then if it's really wet grain, we can stir it up and blow wind through it and add heat through gas burners, and yeah, it sort of dries a lot faster. So yeah, a bit of barley on this side, but yeah, there's them pedestals what I was saying about. We put them in the corn at certain spacing, and then put a fan motor on top on them. They're like perforated panels, ducts, cylinder, and then that fan, it sucks air out of the corn, warm air, and then blows it out the top, and it keeps the crop in really good condition. So yeah, here's some here, you can see. Yeah, so it sucks it from the bottom. They're actually solid, but the bases are perforated, so when they go in they can suck the heat out, because it does warm up corn especially if it's a hot day at harvest, so you have to put some cold air through it to make it good. There's our brush, yard brush anyway. Does a good job, that fixed on the forklift. Well, that's it for our tour around the farm, or the main bits of kit and the main sheds. Hope you've seen a bit of an insight into how we operate if you haven't seen what kit we've got before. Anyway, as I said, we don't run a lot of over-the-top kit, as in excess anyway. It's just, we just have what we need. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please hit that like, share and subscribe, and yeah, hope to see you next time.